This is a Florida king snake.
This is a hybrid king.
This is a California king snake.
All right, guys, so whether you have a Florida king, a hybrid king, or a California king, or whatever king snake you've got, here are 3 common care mistakes that new keepers often make. Hey guys, Ronnie Nana here. When it comes to keeping and breeding king snakes, we've got just a little bit of experience. We've been doing this for, what, a couple decades now, maybe? I've been doing it for a couple decades.
Yeah, longer than I have. For me, like 10 years.
10 years. So 30, 40 years of experience. And there is a mistake that people who keep king snakes make. And it has everything to do with their diet. Now, there's one fact about king snakes' diet that makes them kind of unique, and that is what?
Well, they eat other snakes.
Yeah.
The other snakes are on the menu. So one care mistake that people make is smelling like other snakes right before they go in to handle their king snake.
Yeah. So like if you have another snake like a ball python and you're holding your ball python and then you put it away and you decide, well, I'm going to go over and pick up my king snake. You reach in there. Those fingers now smell like ball python, which is on the menu. Now, that could also be true about mice. If you're petting your pet hamster and you pick up a king snake.
Or even like a pet bunny or something like that. Now, for us, it's kind of unavoidable just because we have so many snakes that we don't have enough time in between cleaning each snake cage to wash our hands. Hence why that's probably the species that we get bit the most of around here. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I get bit more by king snakes. Now, again, it's not to say that they're mean. King snakes make great pets, but because they like to eat other snakes, again, you know, most people know if you're holding a ball python, you don't pet a rat, then go pick up your ball. Most people know that, but people coming over to colubrids, particularly king snakes, from, say, something like a ball python, since ball pythons don't eat other snakes, this is a mistake that people make that can be avoided. If you're handling your snake or your mouse or anything else, before you go pick up your king snake, go ahead and wash that scent off of your hands, because if your fingers smell like a snake, your king snake is probably going to take a bite out of you thinking you're food.
Facts.
Facts. Second mistake people make, keeping king snakes for the first time, would be what?
Cohabitation.
Cohabitation.
Big no-no.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of people out there say you should not cohabitate all kinds of reptiles like leopard geckos or bearded dragons, and everybody says you can or you can't or you should or you shouldn't. King snakes, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's an absolute rule. You cannot house 2 king snakes together. At least you shouldn't. Because if you do, you're going to find out one day you're not going to have 2 king snakes, you're going to have 1 extra large king snake.
Again, because this goes back to what we were just talking about. Snakes are on the menu for king snakes.
Yes.
So if you have 1 king snake that's much larger than the other, that's just going to be a bad day.
Yeah. And people ask this question too. They say, well, what if my snake was raised in captivity and never ate another snake ever in its life? Will it pose a risk then? And the fact of the matter is, snakes, they just simply don't really domesticate. Like, they never get that wild instinct completely out of them to the degree that you can train them to eat some things and not other things. Now, some snakes do have preferences, but I assure you, we do have snakes that are long-term captives. Anytime we have baby snakes maybe that come out of the egg and they don't survive or they fail to thrive or whatever, we will offer those as food items to our adult king snakes. Never had a king that would refuse one. If they eat snakes in the wild, if it's a part of their natural diet, I assure you, in captivity, they will do the same. And like I say, once again, you put 2 king snakes in the same cage, you come home one day, and all of a sudden, you have 1 extra large king snake. So cohabitating, not a good idea, right?
Nope.
Buy 2 cages. The third mistake that new king snake keepers make is cleaning too infrequently. And this primarily comes from people who started off in the hobby keeping like ball pythons, and then they switch over to king snakes, and they're used to that ball python maintenance schedule. You know, you feed a ball python and 6 weeks from now it poops.
I mean, not that long. But typically, you don't have to clean a python's cage as
they're a pet rock. They hardly move. So They have no metabolism. I mean, it's very, very slow.
Right. Yeah, no, that is true. I remember when we used to keep a lot of ball pythons, their cages seemed to stay cleaner, which was nicer because I feel like by the time we clean our colubrids, they're dirty again immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
So
it's a higher maintenance animal.
Once a week is about the minimum.
Yeah, about the minimum. King snake poop, not the most stinky of all the reptiles that we keep. I mean, it's certainly not like bull snake.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, if you're keeping like your cages for aesthetics,
yeah,
it ain't aesthetic. So.
Yeah, no, it's right. You don't want guests coming over, sitting down, going, "What's that smell?" Oh, it's my pet king snake. You're gonna have to stay on top of it. The metabolism's faster. They eat more frequently. They poop more frequently. And therefore your cage maintenance, like she said, minimum once a week. We prefer more water bowls too. They will defecate in the water bowls. I would check my water bowls at least every other day. Make sure there's no feces floating around in there. You don't want your snake to be drinking water that has a big fat snake turd in it. Just not good. Something Phil Billy would do. But
yeah, just keeping any animal in a clean environment is just a better way of keeping a healthier animal all the way around.
Yeah. So clean your cages.
Be sanitary.
Go ahead.
Nasty.
Stop watching this video right now and go clean your cages. Your cages are probably dirty. All right, I heard somebody calling my name, and I want to set the record straight. For those of you guys coming over to King Snakes from the ball python market, and don't bring that silly ball python mess over here to the King Snake Forum. We got albinos, we got hypos, we got white sides. What we don't have is that ball python garbage, a bunch of octopus, crystal dandruff, coral, toe jam, orangutan, vitamin D, pinto bean morphs that you guys sell over there on the ball python forums. Just keep it simple. And another thing, when you're messaging somebody asking about a king snake, don't ask how much it weighs. These are colubrids. We don't do that crap over here. You're buying a snake. Who cares how many grams it is? You ain't buying cocaine. This is Phil Billy. I'm out. Just between me and you, I think somebody needs to take Phil Billy out to lunch. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. Now, I want to give you, we got to give them a bonus. We told them 3 things, but if they've watched this video all the way to now, we got to give them a bonus. What do you do? Let's say, like for us, we're breeders. So being breeders, we have to introduce a male and a female together. That's the only way we're able to produce offspring. Now, in California, I've heard that you could do it different, but in Georgia, it takes a male and a female. So when we introduce those, it's during the time of year when females are trying to gain weight. They're having to carry a clutch of eggs. So females have on their mind eating and consuming as much calories as they can. Guys, during the breeding season, we have our priorities too, ladies. And what's going to happen, you introduce a male in, the only thing he's got on his mind is breeding. The only thing the female has on her mind is feeding. And eventually what usually happens is the female grabs the male, wraps him up, and tries to make a meal out of him. Now, if that happens to you, this is a bonus. This is a free part of the videos. While you guys watch us here on YouTube, so while you tell your friends about us. What can you do if one of your king snakes is wrapped up and constricting and trying to kill the other one?
You're going to grab one end, I'm going to grab the other end. We're going to be playing tug of war with a couple of snakes.
We are not tug of warring with our king snakes. If one of your snakes wraps the other one up and constricts it, one of the things that we do, that we use, water, running water through a faucet. Take both your snakes into a bathtub, turn the water on, hold them under there. Snakes don't like running water pouring all over them. Don't boil the water, don't make the water extremely hot, but generally speaking, when you hold snakes under a faucet with running water, they will let go. The other trick we've used a few times has been mouthwash. They
hate the taste of mouthwash, and honestly, I can't blame them because it's disgusting.
No, I can't blame them either. Keep a little bottle of mouthwash, Listerine, any of that kind of stuff nearby. If one snake grabs the other one, take the bottle, just drop a little bit of Listerine in the corner of the mouth. That is the primary aggressor. And generally speaking, once they taste that mouthwash, they lose their appetite completely, and then you can separate them. Be careful to not make the same mistake again. Anyway, running water, mouthwash, guys, those are 2 tricks that you can use if your snakes wrap each other up. But otherwise, just keep them separated. Keep them separated. There's no reason to have 2 in the same cage unless you're trying to get them to breed. been drinking.
Yeah.
Am I filming something else? I was trying to take this thing off of this tripod. Well, daggum.
This is a hybrid king.
you gotta quit walking forward.
A hybrid king?
A hybrid king. You got it down now. Now if you can just say it without walking forward. And your hands in your pocket. Take your hands in your pocket. Alright, very good. Listen, what kind of king snake is that?
A hybrid king?
A hybrid king. See, you get better at saying hybrid, ain't you? Good job. There's another carabin snake that ball python makers are cut on 2 cages. And tell me I'm good looking. I'll tell you, Aubrey, she got a fart stuck in her brain.